It's a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
And joining us now here with me, right here on scene at the Republican National Convention, is the great Congressman Michael Waltz, of course, former Green Beret. His wife is a veteran, too, and
That's
I love
right.
that as
That's
well.
Right.
And also, you serve on House Intel, Armed Services, and Foreign Affairs Committee. We're so happy to have you here. Your reaction to, first of all, this enormous news, Congressman, that JD Vance has been picked. I brought up some of the names. I mean, there were so many people for him to pick from. And it's been the biggest guessing game in town who he's going to pick.
Well, I think that's one of the points that shouldn't get lost in this, just how deep and talented the Republican bench is. I mean, you think just a few years ago, mainstream media was saying nobody would want to work with Trump again if he decided to run. And look how many people of real depth and real talent wanted to be his vice president, was ready to serve with him. I like the fact that he is a veteran. We haven't had a veteran on the ticket in many cycles now.
Yeah, by the way, he's a Marine Corps, yeah.
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.
To all my Marines out there, I think he's going to be enormously helpful in the states that matter most, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, those Rust Belt states. But the thing that jumps out to me, I'm the co-chair of the platform committee for this convention with Senator Marsha Blackburn. We just introduced it on the floor, and we dedicated it to the forgotten men and women. And JD Vance's story, his life, his family, and his upbringing really embody those forgotten men and women that feel forgotten by too many administrations and politicians on both sides of the aisle. I think he will really capture that and be a huge, huge add to the ticket.
And everybody, we are live here on Katz and Cosby with Congressman Michael Waltz here in the heart of the Republican National Convention. You know, I had the honor of having dinner with Senator Vance a bit ago, and I remember him sharing the story of what he went through as it is exemplified in Hillbilly Elegy.
It is.
But here's a guy who came from rags to riches.
Yep.
He graduates from Ohio State University. He goes to Yale Law School. Think about that.
Right.
And now he very well may be potentially the youngest vice president. I think we have to look at that. He's 39 years old, right?
Second or third, but it's pretty close.
Pretty close. So what is your reaction to his story, too? And given the moment that we're at right now, Congressman, think about what happened just, 2 days ago, to the president.
No, but you think also, of course, his book, Hillbilly Elegy, the movie, but also what happened in East Palestine. What happened to his constituents.
The train derailment
there and how they were forgotten. It's a bit of a policy irony that the Biden administration hates pipelines. Well, where do all those hazardous materials? They still have to move. They're just moving on rail and truck. And he introduced very thoughtful legislation to try to fix a lot of those problems. Look, at the end of the day, the president and the vice president have to fit hand in glove. They have to see eye to eye on everything. And I think the president is just very comfortable as he's gotten to know all of them. I think any one of them would have been a great pick. I love my Senator Marco Rubio.
Yeah, they're great choices.
Yeah, they're all great choices. But at the end of the day, it's the president's call. And we're off to victory in November.
Yeah, no, speaking of which, you are a former Green Beret.
Right.
And you know so well. I have to get your thoughts about the fact of what happened, of course, in Pennsylvania. I was heartbroken, of course, as I think the world was, to see this assassination attempt on the former president and right now looks like the likely future president again of the United States.
Yeah.
The fact that somebody, now we're learning that this guy, this 20-year-old guy, first of all, he's line of sight. I've covered many a White House event, many campaign event, as you know. And how could the Secret Service, when you see where the roof is, it's 130 yards away.
Right.
It's a 20-year-old guy, and we're hearing reports that he was kind of crawling around, climbing around.
Yeah, we've seen it. We have video.
Yes.
So the first thing that jumped out, first thing that jumped out of my mind is, my wife and I have been through basic training. You have to take shots twice that far just with what we call iron sights, not much less a scope, just to be a basic soldier. So how he got that close is going to come out. I'm also on the oversight committee. We'll have the Secret Service director before our committee next Monday, so we'll have to come on and talk to you guys about it. But number two, agents have been reaching out to me and telling us that they have been begging their headquarters, DHS, Mayorkas, the Secret Service director, for more resources, and they have been repeatedly denied. So what I think is going to come out, what I predict, is that they tried to treat Trump just like any other former president with a standard Secret Service protection package. He is no Jimmy Carter or no Clinton or no Bush painting, on his ranch. He's out there with the rallies. He's got multiple residences. He even has foreign threats from the Iranians. He should have had a much, much bigger protection package than he did. And what happens when you don't have enough agents? You have to rely on local law enforcement. And God bless them. We love them, but they're not trained to the level of the Secret Service, and I think that's why that building was left uncovered.
That was catastrophic, because you see also where it was, though it's line of sight.
It's right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Absolutely. Stick with us if you could, Congressman. We have Congressman Peter King, former Congressman, who's got a question for you. Go ahead, Pete.
Good man. Yep.
Mike, it's great. Great listening to you, great talking to you. I was chairman of Homeland Security and also ranking member. And whenever there was a controversy with the Secret Service, the director was on the phone the next day, coming down to Congress on their own within a day or two. And that was whether Democrat or Republican. They were very, very receptive. And this to me is shocking that after an assassination attempt on the president, she seems to have gone underground.
Yeah, the silence is deafening, isn't it, Peter?
It really
number
is.
one, I saw an interview with Bill Barr earlier today. He said, I would have fired her just based on this horrific response. You need to be out there reassuring the American people that Biden, Trump, RFK Jr., every one of their protectees will be kept safe. Because, again, I just can't overemphasize this. I sit on Intel. It's not just the domestic threats. There are very real foreign threats. We have a wide open border. The Iranians are openly talking about assassinating Trump and other members of his cabinet. You're going to see this come out as well, Peter, that they have been peeling back resources from the others involved in the Soleimani strike that have been left exposed. So we have a lot to uncover. These agents have told me all of their requests are in writing. And so we sent a document preservation notice, and we are going to get to the bottom of it. I am convinced, talking to these agents, that they did not give the Trump campaign the resources that they needed.
Hey, Mike, thank God you're on this, because you really got to lean on these guys. If anyone can do it, it's you. It's that Green Beret spirit.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. We're going to run to the sound of gunfire. Let me just say one other thing. I've seen men and women in combat. So has my wife, Julia, and base instincts kick in. We've seen people duck, cover, and do everything they can to get out of the way and hide. And we've seen men stand strong and move to the sound of the guns. And Trump's instincts showed. And his next instinct was to reassure the crowd and the country that he was okay, and I think that really speaks to his character.
That was an incredible moment, Congressman, because to
iconic.
see him, and having known him for decades, to see him get up and put his fist up in the air, it was like, America's back. You are not taking down America. This guy is a warrior.
And some people are criticizing the body bunker. They did what they were supposed to do, the close-in agents. He didn't want to leave. Yeah. I think he would have gone full Teddy Roosevelt and just gave the rest of his speech if they would have let him.
Absolutely. Before I let you go, you have a book coming out. Tell us real quick.
It's called Hard Truths, Think and Lead Like a Green Beret. America needs to hear these hard truths. I think we've gotten a little soft as a country. These are lessons from my time in combat, Africa through the Middle East, how we've applied them to Congress, how we've applied them to life and business.
Will you come back when the book comes out?
We will come out. It's coming out in October, available for pre-order, and proceeds go into veterans charities.
Oh, bravo. Come back again, please. Congressman, we love having you here. Thank you for joining us as our first guest on Katz and Cosby from the RNC.
All right. Let's win.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Congressman. A pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.